Chapter 11 of Married Twice to Salted Fish. Lin Qingyu heard Lu Wancheng's low cough and knew that the situation wasn't good. Sure enough, after a night, Lu Wancheng developed a fever. The servants of the Blue Wind Pavilion had become accustomed to this. Lu Wancheng's illness had always been sometimes good and sometimes bad. When it was good, he could just barely get out of bed and walk about. When it was bad, he could stay asleep for more than half a month, only waking up once in a while, like the month before the Chongshi. After the Chongshi, Lu Wancheng's body improved. But then, what was his foundation? His illness came like a collapsing mountain. Early the next day, he wouldn't wake up. An abnormal redness appeared on his pale, handsome face. Hua Lu placed the towel soaked in cold water on Lu Wancheng's whole forehead and said anxiously, Xiaojun, there should be nothing wrong with the young master, right? After Lin Qingyu felt his pulse, he put Lu Wancheng's hand under the quilt. It's just a common cold. Hua Lu breathed a sigh of relief. Then, he should be fine after the fever passes? Lin Qingyu was unwilling to comment. For normal healthy people, they won't even need to take medicine for a cold. They will be better after a couple of days. But Lu Wancheng's body had been hollowed out by years of illness. The slightest carelessness and a simple cold could turn deadly. Not after long, Feng Xin took Dr. Zhang to the Blue Wind Pavilion. On this trip, Dr. Zhang brought a disciple with him. This disciple was none other than Tan Chi Xie, whom he had last seen at the Lin residence. Tan Chi Xie smiled at Lin Qingyu and said, It's been a long time since I have seen you, brother Qingyu. I trust you have been well since we last met. Why is this bastard back again? Lin Qingyu looked towards Dr. Zhang. Dr. Zhang explained, Qi Shi has recently entered my apprenticeship. Hearing that young Master Hao was ill, he could not rest assured and insisted on visiting the Hao mansion. He could not rest assured? Lin Qingyu smiled. I didn't know that Tang Xiang and young Master Hao were familiar with each other. Tan Chi Xie said, casting aside shame, That day at the Lin residence, young Master Hao and I hit it off from the start. Lin Qingyu interrupted aloud. Young Master Hao is sick and feeling weak. It would be best for fast friends who have no business being here to not add any more trouble. Hua Lu, take Dr. Zhang in. As for Tang Xiang, he may as well stand here and wait. Feng Xin hesitated and said, Xiaojun, you mean to let the guest stand? Lin Qingyu asked, What guest? It was noon, standing at the doorway with the sun beating down at him, being watched by the people coming and going. It was not an exaggeration to say it was made for a humiliating scene. Dr. Zhang looked helplessly at Tang Chi Xie and followed Hua Lu into the room. Tan Chi Xie gritted his teeth with hatred. Forcibly keeping his voice down, he said, Lin Qingyu, you have taken it too far with your bullying. Dude, if you have freaking not, meddled in other people's business and just came to gloat at this guy, you would have not been freaking humiliated. I hope you get humiliated even more, Ugh. This is not even bullying. This is, paying, you reap what you freaking sow. Lin Qingyu thought it was funny. How could I bully you if you hadn't delivered yourself to my doorstep? Yes! Tan Chi Xie glared at Lin Qingyu. His eyes seemed to fill with poison. Lin Qingyu couldn't remember having ever taken the initiative to provoke Tan Chi Xie, nor did he know where Tan Chi Xie's hatred for him came from. Obviously, it came from his inferiority complex. It's not that difficult. That bitch. Sorry. Perhaps this was how the world was. There are unprovoked joys, so naturally there are unprovoked evils. As Lu Wancheng had said, taking this kind of person seriously would only demean himself. Tan Chi Shi took a step closer and said, there are only 100 days left for the examination of the Imperial Medical Office. While Lu Wancheng remains alive, you can only stay in the Hao mansion to take care of him, serve him tea and water, give him medicine, and be a good wife. Catching the slight stiffness in Lin Chingyu's expression, Tan Chi Shi revealed a happy smile. Huh, so what if you are a genius? So what if you hold me down in everything? In the end, isn't it? Lin Chingyu suddenly said, so that's how it is. The light in Tan Chi Ji's eyes sank. What are you laughing at? The corner of Lin Chingyu's eyes ticked up slightly. Almost pityingly, he said, you're so pathetic. After that, he no longer looked at Tan Chi Shi. Lu Wancheng had been under Dr. Zhang's care for many years and was very knowledgeable about Lu Wancheng's condition. Lin Qingyu watched as he checked his pulse and came to the same conclusion that it was a cold. Dr. Zhang wrote a prescription and after a few words of urging, hurriedly left. Dr. Zhang's medicine was nothing more than commonly used cold medicine, but Lu Wancheng's body was different from that of others. If this prescription used by ordinary people could be formulated specifically to improve his illness, it could perhaps achieve twice the results with half the effort. Hua Lu was still waiting for the prescription in Lin Chingyu's hand to have it filled. She asked, Xiaojun, is there anything wrong with this prescription? Lin Qingyu hesitated for a moment and handed the prescription to Hua Lu. No, get going. When Lu Wancheng became ill, the entire Blue Wind Pavilion became busy. Lin Qingyu didn't need to worry about decocting and feeding him medicine or taking care of him by his sick bed. There were servants to do those things. As usual, he read and dispensed medicine in the study. However, he was a bit unused to it because the courtyard was too quiet. Both the Huamei and Maina had their beaks closed. Could it be that they were also worried about their owner? But what's the use of worrying? Even if Lu Wancheng survives this time, there is always going to be that one he doesn't. If he doesn't prepare himself for the fate of a person who was bound to die, when the time comes, only he would be caught off guard. He has almost finished formulating his prescription. The next step was to boil the medicine and make it into pills that were easy to carry and store. Being that it was his first time making a pill of this difficulty, he wanted to do every step himself. Lin Qingyu arrived at the dispensary specially used to make medicine for Lu Wancheng. Inside were several little maids decocting medicinal herbs. Though bustling about, they didn't forget to chat about the behind-the-scenes stories of the mansion. In the past, whenever the young master felt ill, the madam would definitely be the first to come running. There were even times when she would personally take care of the young master's medicinal broth. What's going on? Why hasn't she come yet? Ha! Obviously she's scared. I heard from the sister Shao in the madam's courtyard that the eldest young master and the madam had a big quarrel. The madam was scolded by the eldest young master so badly that she couldn't even stand steady. Are you sure you didn't hear wrong? Shouldn't it be the eldest young master who's unsteady on his feet? Besides, Madam and the eldest young master has always had a caring and filial relationship. Why would they even quarrel? Of course, it was for the Shaojun. The relationship between mother in law and daughter in law has always been a problem for the ages. My sister in law and my mother have small quarrels every 3 days and big ones every five. They quarrel so much, my brother feels like his head is about to explode. Lin Yu pushed open the door of the dispensary and the voices inside stopped abruptly, leaving only the bubbling sounds of the boiling decoction. Lin Yu ignored the little maids with fear and trepidation on their faces. He walked straight to the stove as though he hadn't heard anything at all. After returning, Lin Yu called Huan Dong and instructed, "Go to Langshi's courtyard and get the ledger for this month." Huan Dong couldn't understand. "Young master, what do you want the ledger for?" "To share her worries for her." Once news of Lu Wancheng's illness spread to Langshi's ears, the pressure that had persisted for several days on Langshi's chest finally eased. Liao Mamo, gloated over others' misfortune, said, "This is retribution, madam. It's the heavens unable it's it is the heavens unable to stand by and watch how the young master treated you that day. They are punishing this unfilial child." Langshi recalled the things that had happened that day, and a lingering fear remained in her heart. No matter, since Lin Shi can't save him, then just let him be. At this moment, a maid came in and said that the Huan Tong of the Blue Wind Pavilion had arrived. Lin Shi's dowry page? Liang Shi's brows furrowed tightly. What is he here for? He came to get this month's account book. He says that Shaojun wishes to share the madam's worries. Langshi's chest rose and fell upon hearing those words. He really said that? Madam, did you hear that? Liao Mao's teeth itched with hatred. Now you can no longer just let matters be. Shaojun is clearly out to seize power from you. You can't just sit back and wait for death. Oh my gosh, these people are just like so bad. Like why is this maid freaking tripping, huh? Like she is a freaking slave. Like this is what I actually hate about these, you know, maids or people who are just like, like uh, talking in these people's ears, acting like, oh my gosh, they're holding the power. What is this? Ugh, pathetic. Langshi said irritably, "But what can I do? In the beginning, it is true that I said I wanted Lingxi to take charge of the household. Who would have thought that the Lingxi would be so capable?" Lao Mamo cast her eyes around and waved away the servants. She leaned into Langshi's ear and said, "Why not do this?" "No," Langshi said, deep voice. "Lu Wancheng already warned me. I am worried that he will find out. Isn't young Master Hao sick right now? It's hard to say whether you can survive this. Besides, have you forgotten what the second young lady had said? So long as reason is on your side, Master Hao will side with you. You have nothing to be afraid of." She is just agitating her. Oh my gosh. I hope you both fall. Seeing that the Langshi was still undecided, Lao Mao added, "Even if you don't bother consider this for yourself, just think You just have to think about the second young lady and third young master. Is it possible that you really want a widow to take charge of the How mansion? Nyan Tao, Shaosong. Langshi silently recited the names of her two children and composed herself. Liao Momo, please send the account book to the Blue Wind Pavilion. Liao Momo grinned from ear to ear. This servant will go now. After Lin Yu got the ledger, he called Zhang Shiquan and asked him to check carefully for anything wrong. After looking through it, Zhang Shiquan said, with only 2 months of accounts, I dare not jump to conclusions. With 3 or 4 months of accounts, I should be able to see some clues. Lin Yu asked Hua Tong to send back the account books for this month. Then he asked for the ledgers of the previous few months. On the third day of Lu Wancheng's lethargy, there was finally signs of the fever receding. Though the person himself had yet to wake up, the blood and energy he managed to raise during this period was also all used up. He lay quietly on the bed, his eyes closed tightly. He had wasted away and his bones were sticking out. He was like a candle struggling in wind. It really made people who care about him, endlessly anxious. Hualu fed Lu Wancheng the medicinal decoction. Lu Wancheng's brows tightened, as if even in his dream he couldn't forget the bitterness of the medicine. He even spit out a little. Hualu hurriedly tried to grab a kerchief to wipe it. Lin Yu took the medicine ball from her hand. I'll do it. Lin Yu took a spoonful, drew it close to his lips, and blew on it gently. Before he could get it to Lu Wancheng's mouth, he heard Feng Shen's voice calling from outside. Shaojun, the madam requests that you go to her. Lin Yu paused and returned the medicine ball to Halu. Continue feeding him. Lin Yu arrived at the front hall. Lang Shi was still sitting in her seat as mistress. La Mo stayed to one side. There was also an unfamiliar middle-aged man standing in the hall, a worried expression on his face. Lang Shi asked, insincerely courteous, has Wancheng gotten better? Lin Yu said, Madam, just tell me if you have something to say. Lang Shi lost a little control over her feelings. This is the accountant of the How mansion, Manager Wang. Manager Wang bowed and saluted. Greetings, Shaojun. The situation is like this. Manager Wang found that the ledger sent back from the Blue Wind Pavilion has one page missing. Lang Shi passed, and it's also the most important page recording the revenue and expenditure of the restaurants in the capital. Madam Wang said, choked with emotions. Such a careless omission has befallen such an important account book. I can only wish I could apologize for it with my death. Ugh, so noisy. These people really won't stop. Instead of circling around them, it would be better to just use poison to get them to behave. Oh my gosh, he's like straight to the point. I'm not going to skirt around, do the pleasantries, and do this verbal back and forth. I'm just gonna poison you or like threaten you like Lu Wancheng. Huh, these. Oh gosh. Okay. Lin Yu said, I advise you to think twice. Ooh, a threat. Nice. Master Wang said blankly, think twice? Apologizing with death? Lin Yu said, of course, if you insist on dying, I won't stop you. Manager Wang was stunned. He was just paying lip service just now. How could he really be willing to die for a missing page in a book? Manager Wang looked at Lang Shi and La Momo for help. La Momo generously comforted. Manager Wang, please don't say that. It has nothing to do with you. When you sent the ledger was clearly intact. Madam can testify for you. It was when Huan Tong sent back the ledger that there was a single page missing. Lin Qingyu quietly watched their act. Lang Shi felt apprehensive with the way he was looking at her. She smiled and said, Qingyu, you are the manager of the household. Careless slips are inevitable. Pay attention next time. It's just that the missing page has been retrieved. Otherwise, the accounts are going to be messy. Why don't you go back to the Blue Wind Pavilion to look for it? Lin Qingyu nodded. Fine. Lin Qingyu returned to the Blue Wind Pavilion. Hearing a burst of laughter outside the house, he couldn't help but sneer while feeling relieved at the same time. Joking and laughing with the maids as soon as he wakes up. Sometimes life is pretty hard. As soon as he entered the room, he met Lu Wancheng's gaze, as if Lu Wancheng had been looking at the door all this time. Lu Wancheng let out a couple of cuffs. Voice hoarse, he said, You're back. How do you feel? It feels like I'm sick, then I am alive again. I'm sick again, and I'm alive again. Lin Qingyu lost his expression. You have so much energy. Drink your medicine yourself. Stop having others always feed you. Lu Wancheng laughed and said, I didn't have you feed me. Why so fierce again? Lin Qingyu closed his eyes slightly and calmed down. There have been too many idiots these past few days. He must have been affected and he found his temper hard to restrain. I didn't want to be angry with you. It's just a habit. Sorry. Lu Wancheng grew quiet. He said jokingly, Is Dr. Lin disappointed because I didn't die? Lin Qingyu nodded. A little bit. Oh my gosh, guys, you are going to be so sad when it actually happens, please. Lu Wancheng laughed. Only a pair of eyes brightened on his wan face. I'm sorry, it wasn't my idea either. Oh no, I feel so sad. Oh gosh, we know what's coming, and I'm not ready for it either. Let's get through this one chapter at a time.